A high-speed pursuit filled with drama. The yellow sports car up ahead won't stop. Then something
That's a Chevy Camaro, right?
happens you might expect in a Spider-Man movie. A high-tech device is being deployed to bring the high-speed chase to a screeching halt. It's like a netting from a giant spider web. Look how it's activated
That's
under the rear
sick.
tire. It wraps around the tire of the fleeing vehicle and stops all forward motion. And get this, the device, which is being introduced by police departments everywhere, was invented by a roofer with zero law enforcement experience. Leonard Stock had the idea after watching a deadly high-speed chase live on TV.
As I was watching it, I was just cringing when I would see that happen. I hope that lives are being saved. That's the only reason I'm doing this.
Here's a good look at how it worked as the
This thing is sick because the typical pit maneuver a police officer would perform is, they hit the back of the car and they spin the car out, and the occupant of the vehicle is going to hit into the wall. It might hit into other cars. So this is genius. I've seen this thing before, but I've never seen it actually used by an agency. This is badass.
net is unfurled. Police get as close as they can to the fleeing suspects. Whoosh, there it goes. The chase is brought to an end without anyone getting injured.
What's so cool is they're still tethered on a line. So the cop can hit the brakes and just that's awesome.
Some people do think that it shoots out of the police vehicle, but it actually stays attached to the grappler unit and is directed into the tire.
In the most recent case in Florida, two 17-year-old suspected carjackers are learning you can't evade the grappler.
You can't evade the grappler. Now let's watch news media completely misrepresent the truth.
Lila is 19, a trans woman born and raised in Florida, but she's in the midst of her transition. So to get a new driver's license reflecting her new name and gender identity, Lila says she'd have to go to a different state.
False. Under Florida law, you can get your license changed if you've gone through a complete transition. That requires objective verification. That means genital surgery, breasts, hormonal levels. So you can change your sex on a Florida license, but you have to do it at a federal level, just like having a name change.
Frustration. It makes me feel frustrated that the place that I was raised no longer accepts people like me.
I could say my name is Rainbow Von Sparkle Glitter, but that's not the case unless I go get it legally changed, right? So this is just a confused individual that doesn't want to go through the entire process and wants to be a woman now. Hey, this person's 19. I don't care. Go chop anything off you want, but don't expect it to just magically, be awarded the status of a woman because you've done these surgeries.
Director of Florida's Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles sent this letter to county tax collectors all over the state last week. He said gender is a synonym for sex at birth, and since driver's licenses are used for ID, permitting an individual to alter his or her license to reflect an internal sense of gender role or identity, which is neither immutable or objectively verifiable, undermines the purpose of an identification record and can frustrate the state's ability to enforce its laws. The trans community sees it as yet another assault on their rights.
I was in the fire academy and I learned, some EMT skills. I did my EMT basic, and knowing if someone is male or female contributes to medical care, emergency care, how many cc's of whatever you need to administer to them based on their sex. For law enforcement to know if they're dealing with a certain perpetrator or not. It's an identification thing. I mean, there's a ton of standard reasons why you should have the correct sex attributed to you on your driver's license.
They're passing. They're further restricting the way trans people can present in society. They want to erase us legally, restrict what we can do, and basically turn us into second-class citizens. And I can
throw on a wig and call myself Bobo the Clown. And yeah, you're not going to get respected for it, right? But if I go and legally change my name to Bobo and I can put that on my license, then, more power to you.
I can't live like that. here I am, the big bad trans person. Do you really think that I pose a threat to society? Like, is this culture war really worth it?
This is a mountain out of a molehill. Like, it's not unwelcoming transgender people. It's saying go through these regulations and these laws that you need to abide by as a citizen and a resident of Florida.
Since 2018, trans people have been able to get their driver's licenses changed in Florida if they had a letter from a doctor attesting to their gender change. That policy is officially rescinded. Lila says she will continue her studies in college and then move to a trans-friendly state when she graduates.
Yeah, it's like when Trump got voted into office, everyone's like, we're going to Canada. And exactly 0 people actually left.
I would rather die standing than live kneeling. So I'm going to continue as I am.
All right, that's enough fun for one day. Be sure to subscribe to Conservative Vibes. I'll see you next time.